Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over the 10 biggest changes in the Mansions DLC that Rockstar made to Grand Theft Auto Online. Now there's a lot of stuff that was changed in this video. We're just going to be going over, in my opinion, the 10 biggest and best changes that were made with this update. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new. Let's go ahead and get started. So off rip, Rockstar has added the following vehicles back to the websites, and they can now be upgraded with the missile lock-on jammer as well. The BF Raptor is back, the Bravado Gauntlet, the Canis Bodhi, the Canis Mesa, the Coil Brawler, the Dubachi Masacro and Masacro Race Car, the Grotti Cheetah, the LCC Hexer, the Mammoth Patriot, the Nagasaki Blazer, the Pegasi Vodka, the Ubermarkt Sentinel, the Vapid Bullet, the Vapid FMJ, the Vapid Peyote Gasser, the Weenie Issy, and the Weenie Issy Sport, as well as the Western Bagger. Those have all been added back onto the websites, and they are now purchasable yet again. Now, additionally to this, the following vehicles have had the Missile Lock-On Jammer added as an available upgrade to them. Those being the Albany Cavalcade XL, the Anis Elegy RH8, the Benefactor Shafter V12 and the Shafter V12 Armored, the Gallivanter Baller LELWB, the Karen Futo, the Lampadati Komoda, the Maibatsu Manches, the Nagasaki BF 400, the Ocelot Ardent, the Pegasi Ignis, the Pegasi Pizza Boy, the Pegasi Vortex, and the Ubermacht Niobe. Now there's also 5 brand new vehicles in the game that also have missile lock-on jammers available for them, those being the new Fister Extreme, the Grotti GT750, the Ubermacht Sentinel XS4, the Progen Luiva, and the Vapid FMJ Mark V. So we got a lot of new vehicles that have missile lock-on jammers available for them. That's pretty dope, but that's not all of them. We actually have, for the first time ever, select unarmed aircraft that can now be upgraded to have a missile lock-on jammer on them through the Hangar Workshop. Now these are the aircraft that have this feature added: the Buckingham Alpha Z1, the Buckingham Canada, the Buckingham DH7 Iron Mule, the Buckingham Howard NX25, the Buckingham Luxor and Luxor Deluxe, the Buckingham Maverick, the Buckingham Super Velito and Super Velito Carbon, the Buckingham Swift Deluxe, and the Buckingham Velatus. And we also have the Western Bezra, the Western Cargo Bob, as well as the Jet Sam Cargo Bob, and of course the Western Dodo as well. So all of those are going to have missile lock-on jammers available for them, which is pretty dope. Now, if they're a Pegasus vehicle, you're going to have to take it to your hangar and actually make it into a personal aircraft, and then upgrade it to have the missile lock-on jammer through your Hangar Workshop, just so everyone's aware on how to do that. Next up, Rockstar's also done something that I think is a really good feature, and I think it makes more sense than how it previously was done, but they've added the Popular tab to the car websites that will give you quick access to some of the cars from the previous DLCs that have been overly popular with the community and that have sold really well. Now there's only a handful of cars on each website. I personally think they should expand this list a little bit more, but it's kind of cool, and I think it makes a lot more sense than what it used to be, which was the featured section, which was just the most recent cars that had been added to the game. Just didn't really make sense. But this tab actually works pretty well. We have the STX on here, we got the Vigoro ZX, we have the EVX, stuff like that. I think it's a pretty good change. I personally am a fan of this one. Now, Rockstar fixed several issues pertaining to stability in GTA Online with this update, including multiple different crashes, but also a problem with players getting stuck on black screens for extended periods of time when entering and exiting owned properties. This is something I struggled with in GTA a lot, particularly when we would do crew sessions with our viewers or be in a public session. This was a constant battle for me, and I'm really glad because seemingly it's been fixed. So far, at least. Fingers crossed it stays fixed. We'll see. They've also fixed another error where some players would get put into bad sport lobbies, and they fixed another separate issue where players couldn't maintain a stable connection to most sessions. So they fixed that. Another connection issue fixed. I think it's a step in the right direction. Now, something else that they fixed that was technically broken is at Smoke on the Water. When you do the deliveries to reduce the heat on that business, you could drop off the first package and then blow up the van to reduce the heat down to 0. That has unfortunately been patched out. So now if you want to reduce heat on Smoke on the Water, you actually have to go and do every single drop off, which is really annoying. I think they should seriously consider removing a few of those drop-offs because it's a crazy amount of work to have to do for what you're going to get in return. Big L to Rockstar for patching that, but I get it at the same time. Next up, GTA Plus has had some major changes and pretty significant upgrades. One being that with the Mansion Vehicle Workshop, you're going to be able to apply upgrades that previously were exclusive to other places. For example, you'll be able to apply HSW, which previously would have required you to go to the car meet or the Vinewood Club Garage. Now you're also going to be able to equip drift tuning and Benny's upgrades as well in that same workshop. Now another upgrade is that GTA Plus members will be able to send out staff to source cargo in the CEO cargo warehouses or in the hangar, and they can also send out the bail office technicians to go and get money. Now this is on top of also being able to collect the safe money, so GTA Plus is seeming more and more worth it these days, which pains me to admit because I don't really like it, but it is pretty good. But I can't lie, I think this is a really, really good feature to have. Something else that Rockstar's done with this update is they've added a mission creator to GTA Online, giving players the ability to create their own missions. Now there's 5 example template missions that players can base their own creations off of, and I do believe that probably in a future update they will expand on this and just allow you to create a new mission from scratch. From what I've seen on Twitter, the mission creator seems pretty in-depth and actually pretty impressive, and I think this is going to be an indication of the sort of stuff that Rockstar is going to give us tool-wise in GTA 6 for user-generated content, which seems to be something that they're very interested in partaking in, especially in GTA 6. So I think this is pretty cool. I'm sure some of you guys are going to make some awesome stuff with it. So I'm excited to see what the community comes up with in the coming weeks and months. Next up, with mansions, for the first time ever, we have a property where we can actually get our own personal outdoor area. Now, a lot of people were confused about how mansions were actually going to work. With the early screenshots, we saw that the mansions would just have their doors open, and that begged the question of, are people just going to be able to walk into our house like whenever they want? Are they going to be able to land an oppressor on the balcony and just waltz in? Well, no. When you get to the front gate of your mansion, which is the only entrance into the home, you're going to enter into a cutscene where you're put into your own separate area, separate from the rest of online. Now, it's still going to look like you're right there. The time of day is going to be the same. Traffic's still going to drive by. It's going to look really natural, but you're technically almost in your own little bubble off in some faraway land. It just looks like you're still where you are on the map. This is really, really cool, and I think this is going to be something that Rockstar's probably going to use and expand on more so in GTA 6, and I'm honestly all for it. I think this is a really cool way to do it. Something that's really neat about this too is the fact that you can actually store vehicles outside in the driveway of your mansion property, and other players won't be able to affect them or steal them or take them or anything. It just looks really cool. You can have some cars parked outside. I really hope they do more of this in GTA 6. I think this is a step in the right direction as far as owning houses and properties that have yards and things like that. I think they can definitely do it more. And I hope they do it more with GTA 5 online before GTA 6 comes out, to be honest. Now next up, great news for some of us and sad news for others. The Invitero Cockhead D5's bulletproof window glitch has been patched. This glitch has been out for a very long time, I believe ever since the Cockhead D5 was released initially, and it's finally been patched. If you didn't know how this works, basically the windows in the car would just never break and were completely bulletproof. You could get shot at by tons of NPCs and cops, anything like that, even players, and none of their bullets would actually end up ever touching your character and therefore taking you out. So this has been patched. As you guys can see, I'm shooting right through it and the bullets are landing at the back of the cabin rather than just on the windshield. It's about time this was patched. However, I do think a lot of people are going to be upset about it because I think it did make missions a lot easier, especially like contact missions and things like that. Kind of a shame in that aspect, but at the end of the day, I think it is a net positive for GTA Online. Next up, when you're speccing out a mansion property, you have the ability to upgrade to have a security detail at your mansion. Now, in doing this, you'll also get a security detail that's going to be taking care of the protection of your other business assets. Now, doing this upgrade will almost entirely eliminate the risk of raids on MC businesses, and it will also further reduce the risk of getting raided on other businesses like the bunker, the nightclub basement, and the CEO cargo warehouses, making everything significantly safer. This should also, in theory, make it easier to AFK for longer periods of time because you shouldn't get raided nearly as often, if at all. Now, I do believe this is either going to completely eliminate raids entirely or reduce the likelihood to basically zero. You're almost never going to get raided, as far as I understand, once you have this security detail upgrade for your mansion. This is a must-have, in my opinion. This is actually going to make it so you can register as an MC president without getting your MC businesses raided instantly. So yet another buff for the MC businesses, and I'm all for it, to be honest. Now, as a bonus change that Rockstar made with this update, Rockstar have added pets that are available to be purchased. You can own 1 cat and 1 dog. You're going to be able to choose the breed and or color of these pets. Now, I was expecting these to be egregiously overpriced and expensive, but they're actually only $15,000, which isn't really bad at all. They're going to roam around and appear in different places at any mansion property you own. You're only going to be able to own 1 cat and 1 dog. You do not get 1 cat and 1 dog per mansion. It is 1 cat and 1 dog total. Now, whatever mansion you actually end up visiting is where these guys are going to be. So if you go to the Vinewood estate, if you own that one, and then you also own Devin Weston's house, when you get to Devin Weston's, your animals are going to appear there instead of being at the Vinewood one. They're just going to move around. It's kind of cool. They'll just show up in random spots when you show up to the mansion. Sometimes when you spawn in, they'll be laying in your bed with you, which is pretty cool. Overall, I think it's a good change. I wish there was more interaction that you could do. You could pet the dog, and I think you can pet the cat as well. I wish you could like play fetch with the dog or something. That would have been a cool feature, but obviously it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just nice to be able to have some pets in GTA Online. And is the biggest change that Rockstar made with this update. With any mansion property, you now have the ability to fast travel to any other owned property in the game. This is a massive change that can seriously benefit players a lot. For example, being able to fast travel to each of your CEO cargo warehouses to send your warehouse technicians out to source, then changing sessions and rinsing and repeating this until they're all outsourcing will save you about a minute compared to doing it traditionally with like an Oppressor Mark II. But if you don't have an Oppressor Mark II and you've been using a helicopter or something like that, this is going to save you even more time. Also, simply using this as a means to get around faster is going to be massive. And you do have the ability to fast travel to vehicles even, like your Acid Lab, your Kasatka, your Terabyte, Mobile Operations Center, Avenger. Any of those vehicles you can actually fast travel to as well, which I think is pretty cool. That's definitely my favorite change of the entire DLC. I think it's pretty awesome. And in addition to this, they've also given you the ability to increase a certain business's production. It's got a 24-hour cooldown on it, but it's going to increase production on one business. Again, I don't exactly have the figure. I don't think anybody really knows the figures yet because we just haven't had enough time with this update to really figure that out. But I do intend to figure this out, and I do plan to make updated business guides that involve the mansion as well. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Those are the 10 biggest changes from the Mansions DLC that Rockstar made to GTA Online. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. I will have what to buy and what to avoid coming out shortly after this video, so stay tuned for that and make sure to check that out. This what to buy and what to avoid is going to be to do with the update week that's actually out in GTA Online. But if you want to know what to buy and what to avoid from the Mansions DLC, I have a video that I made yesterday on that, so go check that out if that sounds applicable to you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.